Welcome back to my channel, How to Solve Fractions Questions in Math. Fraction questions can look tricky at first, but they become easier with practice and know-how. Start by learning the terminology and fundamentals, then practice adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Once you understand what fractions are and how to manipulate them, you'll be breezing through fractions problem in no time. Method 1 of 2. Doing calculations with fractions. First, add fractions with the same denominator by combining the numerators. To add fractions, they must have the same denominator. If they do, simply all add the numerators together. For instance, to solve 5, 9 plus 1 over 9, just add 5 plus 1, which equals to 6. The answer then is 6 over 9, which can be reduced to 2 over 3. Second, to subtract fraction with the same denominator by subtracting the numerators. If you need to subtract fractions, they must have the same denominator, just like if you were adding them. All you have to do is subtract the smaller numerator from the larger numerator in order to solve the problem. For instance, to solve 6 over 8 minus 2 over 8, all you do is take away 2 from 6. The answer is 4 over 8, which can be reduced to 1 over 2. Number 3, find the common multiple to add or subtract fractions without the same denominator. If the fractions don't have the same denominator, you'll need to find a common multiple or both denominators and convert each fractions so they have the same denominator. To do this, multiply both the numerator and denominator by the number that will convert it to the common multiple. Then add or subtract the numerators to find the answer. For example, if you need to add 1 over 2 and 2 over 3, start by determining a common multiple. In this case, the common multiple is 6, since both 2 and 3 can be converted to 6. To turn 1 over 2 into a fraction which denominator of 6, multiply both the numerator and denominator by 3. 1 times 3 equals 3, and 2 times 3 equals 6. So the new fraction is 3 over 6. To turn 2 over 3 into a fraction with denominator of 6, multiply both the numerator and denominator by 2. 2 times 2 equals 4, and 3 times 2 equals 6. So the new fractions is 4 over 6. Now you can add the numerators. 3 over 6 plus 4 over 6 equals 7 over 6. Since this is improper fractions, you can convert it to the mixed number 1 and 1/16. On the other hand, say you're working on the problem 7 over 10 minus 1 over 5. The common multiple in this case is 10, since 1 over 5 can be converted into a fraction with denominator of 10 when multiplying it by 2. 1 times 2 equals 2, and 5 times 2 equals 10. So the new fractions is 2 over 10. You don't need to convert the other fractions at all. Just subtract 2 from 7, which is 5. The answer is 5 over 10, which can also be reduced to 1 over 2. Number 4, multiply fractions straight across. Fortunately, multiplying fractions is pretty easy. If the fractions aren't already in the lowest terms, reduce them. Then all you need to do is multiply the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. For instance, to multiply 2 over 3 and 7 over 8, find the new numerator by multiplying 2 by 7, which is 14. Then multiply 3 by 8, which is 24. Therefore, the answer is 14 over 24, which can be reduced to 7 over 12 by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 2. Number 5, divide fractions by flipping the second fractions upside down and multiplying straight across. To divide fractions, start by making the fractions you want to divide by a reciprocal. Do this by turning it upside down so the numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. Then multiply both numerators and both denominators together. For example, to solve 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 6, flip 1 over 6 upside down so it becomes 6 over 1. Then just multiply 1 times 6 to find the numerator, which is 6, and 2 times 1 to find the denominator, which is 2. So the answer is 6 over 2, which is equals to 3. Method 2 of 2, practicing the basic. Number 1, note that the numerator is on the top and the denominator is on the bottom. Fractions refer to parts of the whole when the top number in a fraction is called the numerator. This tells you how many parts of the whole you're working with. The bottom number in a fraction is referred to as the denominator and tells you how many parts make up a whole. Practicing the basic. For instance, in 3 over 5, 3 is the numerator, so there are 3 parts of 5 is the denominator, so there are 5 total parts. In 7 over 8, 7 is the numerator and 8 is the denominator. Number to turn a whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. If you have a whole number and need to convert it to a fraction, you can use the whole number as the numerator. Always use 1 as the denominator since every undivided whole has a single part. If you need to turn 7 into a fraction, for instance, write it as 7 over 1. Number 3, reduce fractions if you need to simplify them. Start by finding the greatest common factor, GCF, of the numerator and the denominator. The GCF is the largest number that both the numerator and denominator can be divided by. Then just divide both the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor to reduce the fraction. For example, if you have the fraction 15 over 45, the greatest common factor is 15, since both 15 and 45 can be divided by 15. Divide 15 by 15, which is 1, so that's your new numerator. Divide 45 by 15, which is 3, so that's your new denominator. This means that 15 over 5 can be reduced to 1 over 3. Number 4, learn to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions. A mixed number has both a whole number and a fraction. To solve certain fraction questions more easily, you might need to turn the mixed number into improper fractions, meaning the number on top is larger than the number on the bottom. You can do this by multiplying the whole number by the denominator and adding this number to the numerator. Put the new numerator over the denominator. Say you have the mixed number 1 and 2 over 3. Start by multiplying 3 by 1, which is 3, and 3 to 2, the existing numerator. The new numerator is 5, so the mixed fraction is 5 over 3. Typically, you'll need to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions if you're multiplying or dividing them. Number 5, figure out how to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers. Sometimes you might have the opposite problem and need to make an improper fractions a mixed number. Start by figuring out how many times a numerator can go into the denominator using division. This becomes your whole number. Find the remainder by multiplying the whole number by the divisor, the number you're dividing by, and subtracting the result from the dividend, the number you're dividing up. Put the remainder over the original denominator. Say that you have the improper fraction 17 over 4. Set up the problems as 17 divided by 4. The number 4 goes into 7 a total of 4 times, so the whole number is 4. Then multiply by 4 by 4, which is equal to 16. Subtract 16 from 17, which is equal to 1. So that's the remainder. This means that 17 over 4 is the same as 4 and 1 over 4. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.